Assalamu alaikum, magacayga waa Nimco. I'm running for the open seat in the 37th Legislative District. Waxay cover garaysaa up to Capitol Hill ila South, oo qaybo Skyway iyo qaybo Renton as well. Very excited. Waxa weeye, I've been a lifelong community organizer. I'm a university professor. I am a small business owner, all here in the 37th Legislative District.
And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ahmed Ali. Thanks to all of you for taking the time to be here with us today. We are here to support our sister Nimco Bulaale for the 37th district. As many of you know that culturally and religiously, when we gather together as a community, we always start with the verses from the Quran. And I'm going to invite the musharax to bless the event. But before I do that, I really want to thank Nimco's campaign manager, Gracie, for being able to help us set this event so that we can support our local candidate here. At the same time, V, for hosting us in this location where we are today.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا وحاوي إلهي سبحانه وتعالى وحنا أمر يا إن أن أهانه متقرح أو أن dadka walaalaha islaamka aan istaageerno markaan eegno gabadha maanta halkan u joogno gabadha walaashay Nimco waxa weeye aad baan ugu faraxsanahay inaan taageerada ugu culiseen because ku talagal had jeer qofkaaga ayaa had jeer qofkaaga qofkaaga hadaadan garab istaagin oo aadan caawinina waxa way waajib ku saaran baad dhinac ka martay marka haddaan Soomaalinahay waxaan muxuu ahaayay to ku boorinayaa cid walba oo daawan doonta videogan ama arki doonta in ay hiili hooba la garab istaagaan Nimco waa gabadh naga mid anaga waxaan halkan ku marti qaaday gabadhaas aynu wada shaqeyno waxay ii sheegtay markii ay Mareykanka imanaysay airport ka soo qaadeen markii Nimco airport intii laga soo qaaday guriga loo soo waday DC waxay tiraahday Washington ka hadlaysaan ma Washington tikalo siyaaro Washington ku taale ma Washington DC hadda wali meeyay ma wadanka gooya waa qof noocaas marka anoo aqaanay adeer wax gabadhan ayaa gabadhaas oo wada shaqeyno had iyo jeer ugu tiraha Nimco Bulaale ma taqaana sanaha waan aqaana marka maanta ana cazumay oo ilaa wata dhigi jirtay gabadha xaaladda ila socodsi marka walaalayaal wax kale ma dhihi gabadha walaasheena Somali hadaan nahay iyo ciidan naqaanaba inta asxaababa waxaan ku boorinayaa in aan taageerno annaga waxaan kugu boorinayaa Nimco dadkan waa dadkaagi ayaga mathalaysa dad kalena wad mathalaysa laakiin ku talagal marka ugu horeysa wuxuu waajib ka saaran yahay meel walbana diyaar baan u nahay meel kasta albaab kasta aan garaacno insha Allah ta'ala aan ku taageerno
Jazakum Allah khair Adel Mohammed Sheikh aad ma santahay and I think he is one of the well respected community members and for him to have the time in on laqato wa ku mahadsantahay there are several very close friends I mean this is a circle of who's who in the city of Seattle to be honest with you when it comes to different aspects whether it is politics business and I want to thank all of you guys for being here but before I get to the next speaker I want to invite Herut to say a couple things about Nimco from other Mohammed has mentioned she was one of the first people to welcome her here in the United States. So Herut, welcome.
Hi everybody, my name is Herut and I'm from Eritrea. I'm here to support Nimco. I have known this family for many years. Her auntie was she was my classmate, so we go way back. So don't ask me how many years ago. However, so Nimco, her uncle, her auntie and me, we drove from New Orleans. This is in 1995. So we drove all the way to Atlanta to pick her up with her 10 brothers and sisters and her mom. And it was a very emotional trip for us. So we drove all the way. It was evening, I remember. We drove all the way back to New Orleans. And on our way, I remember one thing. She was 6 years old at that time. And her brothers and sisters were saying something. And she said, which Washington, they were mentioning, somebody was mentioning Washington, and she said, which Washington are you talking about? 6 years old. She just got off the plane. She said, which Washington? Is that the District of Columbia or the one on the West Coast? Which one are you talking about? So that's what she said. And me and her auntie and her uncle, we turned around, and I remember that was my first impression. This child is going to get somewhere. So we know her strength. We know how strong and how far-sighted she is. And she was the one that did our makeup for every wedding. I've been to all her brothers and sisters' weddings. She's an amazing beautician as well, and very strong personality. I've also worked with one project. It was with the city of the Seattle. It was police something, and we worked with that, and she stood out, in the whole crowd. So she's an amazing person. We need to support her, and I'm going to support her with all Eritrean and Ethiopian and East African. I'm also co-worker with Muhammad, so we're going to go all the way. So we are behind you. We are very proud of you.
Thank you very much, Herod, for that. I mean, it is a testimony to the strength that Nimco brings to this candidacy. I think many of us understand that running for office is not for everyone. You have to have the grit. You have to have the vision. There are several folks who are sitting here who've run for office, and they can really attest to that. And you really have to have an understanding in terms of what the community's needs are. I'm not going to spend a lot of time to talk about Nimco's platform and campaign, because she will definitely do that better than anybody could. There are several faces here that are, well-respected community members. While I really want to cut to the core of why we're here today, and which is to support Nimco's campaign, because we know that in order to run a successful campaign, you really have to two things are really key. One is you need to have the voters to vote for you for what you believe should be the right way to lead that particular district. But most importantly, you really need the funds to be able to fulfill that. And that's what we're here for today, to be able to support, make sure that we dig deeper into our pockets, credit cards, debit cards, and be able to put some money so that we definitely can make sure that those pamphlets and signs are all over the place, because at the end of the day, whoever is capable of doing that is the one that's going to win. And I'm very confident that Nimco will definitely represent as well. I've worked with her in certain projects as a representative of Somali Health Board. I've seen her advocacy work over the years. I am going to take a few minutes, if it's okay, and invite Ali Shego to come and say a couple words on behalf of the Somali community and the East African community as well. Ali Shego, welcome.
As everybody else say, I had the opportunity to meet Nimco when she was a child and see her grow and be prospective. One of the reasons that I'm supporting is because the core value that she comes and the family that she represents. Knowing, as she's going to be explaining her vision, but I know that because of her value and how she grew up, that she will be able to deliver those values for our 37 district. I used to be part of 37 district. I know district that I know very well. And there's a lot of needs. A lot of things has happened. A lot of things has changed. I've been in Seattle 30 years, but the 37th was always a good place for people of color and home for others. So there's a majority, minority here, and we have lack of representation, and I'm hoping that Nimco will bring that kind of voice to the state legislature. So, as Ahmed say, it takes a lot of money and to run for campaign. Because of her vision, and she's going to explain to us, it's easy to sell. However, because there's so much noise and so many activity going on, that in order to deliver her vision, it takes a lot of money. Whether it will be flyers, whether it will be signs. I know one sign people don't give a value, but that probably costs $4 to $7 per sign. So if you see them, more signs there means more money went into it. And the pamphlets, because of inflation, I don't know how much it costs now, but I know everything goes expensive. So please, you need to donate. And you need to donate now. You need to donate monthly. You need to figure out how to donate. And And this is the time, this is where you have a choice. After the primary, you don't have a choice. You just get what you get. So now that we need to make a good decision that we need to vote for Nimco.
Thank you, Ali. Sheego aad mahadsan tahay. Haddana waxa uu yeerayaa duqa magaalada Cabdiraxmaan OJ dhowr kalmadood inuu noo yiraahdo regarding ubax. Mr. Mayor, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's an honor and privilege this evening to be here and support Nimco. I've worked with Nimco a lot of occasions, and we came to America about the same time, but I wasn't 6 years old. She came, I think, around October 1995, I believe, and I came about September 1995. So it's not easy to run for office. It's not easy. A lot of us tried it, and I knew Nimco was going to do it someday, and it's happening now, and we are very happy to support today. And inshallah ta'ala, and of Somali ku daraya, and Nimco community kan waqti badan ay soo gelisay, and waana dadka ayadoo loo jeedin shaqeeya mar walba. Inteena kale waxa laga yaabaa meelaha inaan ka muuqano, laakiin Nimco hawsha soo qabatay umaleyn maayo qof naga mid ah inuu qabtay. Marka inshallah ta'ala inaan taageerno, jeebkeena ku taageerno, codkeena ku taageerno, codkeena ku taageerno inshallah ta'ala. Ballots-kina waa imaadeen umaleynaya Soomaa. Ballots-ki waa imaadeen. The ballots have arrived, so we need to check and make sure those that we know are voting inshallah ta'ala, especially the Somali community that live on the 37th district. Ballotka waa la iska tuuraa qashinka lagu ridaa. Marka inaan dadka degan oo aan garanayno districtigan inaan wacno oo aan maaragtay xasuusino inay codeeyaan waqti badanna ma jiro. Nimco, we thank you so much for representing us inshallah ta'ala, and we wish you good luck, and I know you are already a winner for running inshallah ta'ala. Thank you so much.
I'm going to invite Ahmed Abdi. Ahmed Abdi. I kind of mix who's who sometimes. Ahmed, come on, let's just say a few words if you don't mind, akhi.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waa mahadsan tahay ninkan samigay waay dhakhtarka marna waa isku magac waa wadana Ahmed Abdi, Ahmed Ali labadeena baan la marka mar horaan ku yiri maxay ahayd magac inaan ka iibiyo waay si oo maartay inaan ku daayo magac kale anigana aan raadsado. waa mahadsantiin dhamaantiin asu yimaad halkan inaan support gareyno maxay ahayd Nimco Bulaale wixii ereyo ugu wanaagsanaa ama se muhiimadda ahayd waa laga hadlay oo ku xisaabsan electionka iyo macnaha muhiimadda uu leeyahay qofka inuu cararo ama se supportku u baahan yahay markuu qofka uu galayo tartan. laakiin hal shay oo muhiim ayaa rabaa inaan ku daro halkaasina waxay tahay district 37 district dadka ugu badan waa dadka oo annaga midabkeena ama dadka minority-ga dhahan ayaa dadka ugu badan ee u eg tahay. laakiin haddana waa dadka ugu yar oo markay cod ay noqoto ma codeeyaan. taasina waxay ku tusinaysaa in shaqo badan ay u baahan tahay sidii ay ugu guulaysan lahayd walaasheen position-kan. marka shaqadaas annaga inoo wada taallaa maadaama dadka ugu horreeya matali doonta ay tahay annaga gabadhan. marka waa inaan maaragtay aan soo bixinaa maxay ahaday lays organize garee la ogaada qaabkii maxay ahaday lacag kaliya kuma filno. waxay u baahan tahay in la baxo la socdo guryaha la qaraaco oo maxay ahaday dadka lala hadlo ajnabiga lala hadlo dadkeenana la caawiyo oo si ay u codeeyaan. marka waxaan idin dhihi lahaa maanta halkan laga tagin ayadoon la isqorin dad aysan isqorin between now inta primary wuxuu noqonayaa August 8 Soma second May. so August 2nd dad shift galayo oo baxayo irdaha soo qaraacayo. taas ayaa muhiimadda aad u weyn tahay sababta waqtigu uu yar yahay. hatta haddii lacag inta ugu badan aan siino maxay ahaday muhiimadda waxa waaye in irda loo qaraaco oo maartay we show support. and I was just telling that it's not only the money that matters as I had the experience before. The what matters is also going and door knocking. The time is not on our side, so therefore we need people to volunteer, to write their names down, so that they can go and door knock, inshallah ta'ala, and I'll be one of them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think what Ahmed mentioned here is the two key aspects, which is one, we are only a few days away from the primary itself, right? We really need to push Nimco to be able to come on November ballot, right? So one, not only are we going to help today donate to make sure that the expenses are covered towards the primary, but at the same time, as Ahmed has already volunteered, we'd love to see a few other folks to be able to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go and knock other people's door, make sure that folks are, signing their ballot and dropping it off where they need to drop off. So that's key. Speaking of that, since we are in this complex and we have graciously been invited by V, there are already lots of ballots in this building itself that are on the 37th district. So I think V is going to start knocking the doors yourself. With that, can I invite you just to say a few things about Nimco? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm being put on the spot here. My name is V Nguyen. So if you can tell by my last name, I'm Vietnamese. So one of the things that I have always found very powerful is that even though Nimco and I clearly do not come from the same community, we share a family story in that our families are refugees. And so we know what it is to lose your home and lose it in a way that, stays with you for a long time. But then to come here to this country and find a home and find a community and create it. My family, just like Nimco's family, landed here in this community. My grandpa's house is like 2 blocks away. My uncle's house is still like 1.5 blocks away. So this community, this neighborhood has always been home for us. And to see Nimco step up in a position of leadership and say, I am going to make sure that we will always have a home here in the 37th is, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And I've known her for a long time. She's one of my dearest friends. So, it's already been said, Election day is 16 days away. So I always tell people that you have to have a plan to vote. So the first is if you're if you're eligible to vote, register to vote. Right? You can still do it online. It makes it super easy in Washington State. The second thing is who's on your ballot? Figure that out. Well, we know we're going to support Nimco, right? But then there's other people too Nimco is going to need friends to go do the things that we need her to do in Olympia, and so let's send her friends to Olympia as well. How are you going to vote? So Washington State, you don't have to put a stamp on it. You can just drop it into the mail, no stamp needed. Or where's your closest drop box? Like I just moved into this neighborhood. I don't know where the closest drop box is. I think it's over by the library. But every community in King County has a drop box, so know where that is. So it's not enough to say yes, 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 yes. Have a plan, and our plan is to know how to vote, know who we're voting for, and we're also going to donate because campaigns cost a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of times where we have to feed the volunteers, to go knock the doors, and all the things. And Nimco, you're my dearest friend, and I love you so much, and I know you're going to do amazing things for our communities in Olympia. Thank you.
I think one thing that came out of that is that representation matters, right? Representation does matter. And I think one person that clearly can talk about that very well in different aspects and having to deal with different people from different offices is Musa Roble. Musa, come here, just say a couple things. We really want to hear you say a couple things about Nimco, and I'm gonna put everybody on the spot here. We're a small group, so I appreciate you saying kind words. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. How's everybody doing? Good. So I'll speak. I don't know Nimco personally that well, but obviously I know your sister and Abdulwali quite a bit. So I have been campaigning for the last 2 years for fair banking for our community. There's a lot of unbanked money transmitters. A lot of us send money home, and they struggle to secure reliable banking. I think it's close to over $10 million is physically carried through SeaTac Airport every month. And a lot of these people have become victims of armed robbery, similar to the marijuana industry. And so, yeah, I was able to successfully get 5 jurisdictions, City of Seattle, Kent, and to sign resolutions in support of unbanked communities. And Ahmed is right. If you don't have people who relate or understand your situation, it's very difficult to get support. And one of the most unique situations we faced was SeaTac. where it was a conservative council, and when we presented our problem, they were not able to relate to it, and so they refused to help us pass a resolution or support. Thankfully, that council has been removed, and we only have two. Yeah, so it was a conservative council representing a very diverse community. And so, yeah, and I think representation is important. And, you know, we've decided we're going to live here, and we have to make sure we effect change so that we're able to thrive as well. Yeah, thanks.
Musa Ado Masantai, thank you very much. I think one of the goals, objectives of why I'm calling folks is because I really want, when Abdurrahman Hollywood and Somali Bridge are putting this video together, that folks can resonate with certain people and realize that Nimco has a huge support within the community, right? Because I think all of us have certain networks, and particularly here, 37th District. I think every one of us can attest to that. We do have families that live here. We're connected here. We've got a lot of businesses within our community here. So I think it's important that some of us really are not just donating, but also able to speak about why they're supporting Nimco. I think I'm going to call my brother, Hamza nephew, to say a few words here. He lives not too far away from here, so this is his neighborhood. There you go.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is actually, I just realized right now when I walked over here that my son is actually a voter too. He just turned 18. I totally forgot about that. So you got another voter there. But as everyone has mentioned, representation matters a whole lot of deal. Especially when I talk in terms of fighting for the autism community, that's when I realize when we are not represented on the table, pretty much we don't have a seat on the table, we have no voice. So we know our sister over here. I go with the Bulaale family for ages. We've known them for years. Actually, my wife forced me. She's like, hey, it's time. You got to go support my sister. So we go way back. But all I'm going to say is it's on us. We can't expect other people to run for us when we don't run for ourselves. So if that New Holy, I'm going to make sure I knock every door. There's a lot of votes over there. As you say, most of those votes just go to the trash. People don't understand what kind of how important representation is. So it's our duty to pretty much make them understand, educate them.
Thank you, Hamza. Thank you so much for that. And Nimco, what you got yourself is an actual commitment. New Holly is huge. There are a lot of voters there. One person that oftentimes any event that I call or I'm participating in, whether I'm invited or I'm just showing up, is a very close friend of mine. Used to be my roommate. I would like to call Gulet to say a few words. We go way back in, and there are a few cougars here, so just Gulet.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Salaamatin dhammaantiin. And I'm really excited to be here today. First of all, to see all of you guys. And it's, I mean, like Ahmed said, you know, it's really important for all of us to really support our community and the folks who are campaigning, because it's a work that it takes all of us to do that, you know, financially, knocking doors, you know, sharing social media, things like that, you know, and Nimco and her family I've known for a long time. Also, we've worked on some project when I worked at Takwila School District. She was very, very involved, and I thank you for that, you know, and I do believe that Nimco has what it takes to lead 47th District. She has she's been involved in the community
for such a long time. And really, like everyone said, we got to support her. I think financially, that's the most important thing. And I'm glad we got few folks here who worked, who lived in this area that can, you know, knock doors. You know, obviously, it doesn't. You don't have to live to knock doors, but that's right. Yeah, but definitely, and I'm glad all of us are here, and we will support you, and you will win. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gulet. And go Cougs. There's a lot of Huskies here. Perfect. And I think one person that I can say that has a lot of family members here. I mean, I'm calling out people because I know everybody here, you know. So the good thing is I can relate to everybody to a different context. You mentioned he knows somebody in this neighborhood or the entire 37th district. My Farah, my good friend Farah, come here to say a few words for us.
Assalamu alaikum. Waa ku faraxsanahay maanta inaan ka qayb qaato barnaamijkan aan ku caawinayno oo ku garab istaagayno walaasheen Nimco Bulaale. Nimco sidii hor u sheegan dadkii iga horeeyay waa qof bulshada u shaqeeyo. Shaqadeeda ma ahan dadka badanaa meelaha laga arko waa shaqo siyaabo kala duwan iyada ma wada shaqeynin balse shaqadeeda waa mid muuqato marka waa ku faraxsanahay barnaamijkan inaan ka qayb qaato siyaabo kala duwan ayay dadka bulshadeena kamid ah oo u tartamayo xilalka ay faa'iido ugu leeyihiin bulshada kaliya ma aan xilka inay qabtaan go'aamo ama waxtar u leh bulshada ay u soo hooyaan waxyaalaha kamid ah waxa kamid ah hadda ka hor gabar Soomaaliyeed urdaysay aniga gabdhaan dhalay iyo wiilal gabdhahayga waxay ugu dhaheen aabo wadankan wax ma ka noqon karnaa waxa ku dhahay gabadha ma arkaysaa xil bay urdaysaa wadankan waad ku dhalateen ani madaxweyne kama noqon kari balse idinka madaxweynaad ka noqon kartaan marka dadka u tartamayo xilalka waxay tusaale u yihiin jiilkeena soo koraayo gabdhaheena gaar ahaan ay tusaale wanaagsan u yihiin Nimco waan ku faraxsanahay barnaamijkan maanta inaan ka qayb qaato dhaqaale ahaan bulshada inaan ma aragtay haddii la garaacayo albaabada inaan ka qayb qaato waad guuleysanaysaa insha Allah haddana waad guuleysataba mahadsanid.
You know, I think he's way younger than me to a certain extent, always wears a khamis, but is always where the community needs him, is involved with a lot of advocacy work, policy. Abdurrahman Aydrus is a person that I call upon, and when we need to talk about policies, Abdurrahman, if you could just say a couple words.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. horta inuu soo sheegay hadal baa ugu soo qoray waxaan rabaa kaliya inaan dhaho haddaan maqal Soomaalida waxay dhahdaa hadal badan iyo hawl yar lila kelmadaas anigu waxaan ku aqaanaa Nimco kelmadaas mahmadaas oo qof ah Nimco ku mitaal laha dhowr 10 sano ka badan baa aqaanaa Nimco dadkeenana markasta waxa dhahnaa marka qof aragno active ah ma kursi orodid waa lagu baahan yahay bulshada ku baahan maanta Nimco maanta dooratay inay orado wax badan baan ku haynay orad dadka wax u qabo maanta waxa u malanayaa maxay dhahaan Mareykanku the police and our courts ma annagana la ka rabaa inaan garab istaagno intee Nimco qabatay meesha lagu soo koobi karo waxa kaliya aan dhahay waxa weeye maanta annagana la ka rabaa inaan garab istaagno Nimco waa maasan tahay inaad bulshada u istaagtid Soomaalida sidana reer guuraba iska nahay waxay nala tahay kulligeen inaan wadankan ku noqonayno laakiin xaqiiqada waxay tahay meeshan kuwii ku dhashay ba hadda wax ku sii dhalaya dadkaas inoo diyaariyo weeye siday wadankan uga qayb qaadan lahaayeen Nimco iyo dhalinyarada la midka ah taas u istaagteena in la garab istaago weeye wadankan meel laguma socono xaqan inaan dagaalano weeye Nimco asaasay waa maasan tahay garabkaaga la galo annagana wixii nagu soo aada waa kugu taageerina.
Thank you. And aad u mahadsantii walaalayaal dhammaantiin I'm going to call my other roommate. By the way, there's a trend here. Guled was my roommate in college, and Khadar was also my roommate in college. So any of you guys, Musa few blocks, who are neighbors, few blocks away. And we didn't click that well. Khadar has been a long resident of Seattle and now lives in Kent. But the first place that actually I met Khadar in 1998 was right here in this neighborhood. It didn't look as pretty as it is right now, right? It wasn't as well developed as it is. Well, of course, with gentrification and so many other things that have happened. But this is where the same neighborhood Khadar and I met before we went to Azoo. So Khadar, welcome. Just say a few kind words for our sister Nimco.
Thanks, Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. I didn't come to prepared to say something, so but I'll go ahead. Nimco, congratulations. You took the first step to show us, to get us organized as a community, to have a voice. One thing I know, I'm in corporate America. If you don't have a seat at the table, whatever is important to you, it's not discussed. Whatever you care is put aside. So having a seat in Olympia, I think is going to be key. And all of us, we've been here a long time. We're professionals. We know how to get things done, either through fundraising, knocking doors. I haven't been involved with a lot of the political activity here in the Seattle area, but hopefully I will going forward. I think it's important. So, Nimco, I can't vote for you here, but you have my support. If I need to knock door, let me know. But but happy to support. So. And by the way, Rainier Vista, this whole thing, it used to be military housing, I think. That's when I first came to the United States, and now it all changed. But things are changing. So are we going to change, or are we going to left behind? So I think I'm glad to see Nimco and others are running. Whether you win or not, you're setting a trend. So try it. But I think Nimco will win. But hopefully then she even can go to Congress, right? I think there are a lot of people who set the stage where they started for district, state, and then went to federal. So that's the future.
Thank you very much, Father. Adam Asante, thank you. Crunch time. Abdiwali, my brother Abdiwali, is my sidekick on this event. He is our community leader in many aspects and a good friend of mine. I think he came up with a very simple math calculation, to be honest with you. I hope everybody's ready.
Assalamu alaikum. Somalian shukran insha Allah. Dhammaantiin waa mahadsantihiin. Waxaana jeclahay in aan qof kasto ku salaamo maqaamkiisa iyo magaciisa. Halkaan markii aan tiriyey 13 qof baan nahay. Aan ka bilaabay Dr. Ahmed, walaalkay iga weyn, Hamza Mohammed, aka nephew. No, walaalkay iga weyn, ciradii ku sirin waraya. Ahmed, Abdi, by the way, I want to next fundraising I'm gonna call dadka ka hor Ahmed aan wacaya. Waa qof kasta aan wacay wixii Ahmed ay soo wacay. Waxa yiri warwaare maxay yahay aniga, so I had to be outside of my okay. Ma garatay Ahmed, walaalkay guuleed, nin aan dhihi karo marna aabu ii yahay, marna mentorkayga waaye Cali Sheegow. Run ahaantii uma malaynayo magaaladan in uu joogo qof aan waxba ahayn ama qof wax ah laakiin si Cali uusa ka dambeyn. Ana markhaati ka, Nimco markhaati ka, qof kasta oo soo maray Seattle Public School District baa markhaati ka. Tusaale ahaan ninuu Cali baray, raalli ahaada, nin Cali uu baray isbuuc ka hor baa wuxuu u guuriyay magaalo kale. Ninkii baa wuxuu yiraahday warniyo waxaan rabaa qof Soomaali oo professional ah oo xagga deganaaga xirto. Sababta hebel baan aqaanaa. So hebel baan wacay saan ninkaas ugu xiro. Ninkii wuxuu yiri Abdiwali oo adiga qofkaad igu ma garanaysaa. Waxaan niyo qofka aqoon saa uma lihi, laakiin waxa igu soo xiray Cali Sheegow. Hadduu Cali Sheegow kugu soo xiray waa dhamaatay. So sheeko wuxuu ii galay ah wadanka waxaan soo ganoo sharci lahayn. Cali Sheegow waa ninkii lawyerka ilaahay. So qof kasto aad taqaano cali sheego meelu ka galay so cali sheego inaan waxaan rabaa taa xuso okay saaxiibkay maxamed faarax bile ninka magaca badan mahadsanid faaraxna next fundraising waxaa lagu qabanayaa gurigiisa insha allah walaalkay kaloo iga weyn oj cabdiraxmaan roble muuse cabdiraxmaan maxamed bulaale maxamed sheekh khadar dhammaantiin waa salaaman tihiin intaas ka bacdi kolleyba anigu meesha waxaan usoo istaagay inaan lacag aruuriyo meesha uma soo istaagin inaan nimco ka hadlo nimco waa loo hadlay ayadana insha waxaad duntaa so waxaan isleeyahay gool baan qabnay maanta dad baan naga maqan runtii oo noo imaan cudurdaar sheegtay dad shaqo muxuu ku daahay nasiibkanaga wuxuu ahaa inaan helno 20 qof oo minkuna oo $20 waa okay that's over stretch but waan sii diyaarinaya insha allah waxaa la yidhi aim high saa dhexda waa insha allah so 15 qof baan tirinay so kolleyba culammada maska joogo waxay dhihi jireen haddii hooyadaa dhimatay hooyada waxaa ku sadaqayso hadduu cunug kaa jiran yahay cunuga allaha ku caafiyo so qof kasta muraad gooni uu leeyahay horta muraadkiina allah insha allah idin xuso
I'm going to invite Nimco to say a couple of things. I think we need to hear from Nimco why she's running, what made her think to run for this office. And I'm really, really excited for her candidacy, to be frank with you. I think she has a really good chance. And at the end of the day, we want her to move on to the next phase in November. Nimco, if you don't mind, if you come here and say a few words. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, magacayga waa Nimco. I'm running for the open seat in the 37th legislative district. Waxay cover garaysaa up to Capitol Hill ilaa South oo qaybo Skyway iyo qaybo Renton as well. Very excited. Waxa weeye I've been a lifelong community organizer. I'm a university professor. I am a small business owner, all here in the 37th legislative district. And some of you, I'm your neighbor. وأوكنا the community جينو هاركن بوده دجينيهين. مركا نكوني January 1996. ودنكو حنمي December 95. Seattle حنمي January 1996. وحنمي here in the Central District on 11th and East Union. Harkas ba school kakablaudne, Seattle Public Schools. And so this is a community that has raised me. Even though I went to school elsewhere and family moved around, wa oktihin community gena, refugee and immigrant communities, mel kastan chogna. Or 37th ko melahan business gena kula high communities gena chogan. So I feel really close to this community here. And I'm excited to represent us in Olympia. One of the big things that I'm excited about, my platform, my vision for this community is that it stays affordable for dadka. We're hearing every single day up and down the I-5 corridor how families are being pushed further south, and this neighborhood is becoming inhospitable for them, and it's becoming difficult for them to live. And so I'm excited to go to Olympia and represent our interests around affordability. I want to make sure that we're recovering with our communities in mind from the pandemic, that we have accessible health care. I want to make sure that we have economic development and that we have fair wage jobs so people can work with dignity and live in the communities that they want to live in. Well, I'm a community organizer, and education is really big for me. So I want to make sure that skuladenu are well resourced. I want to make sure that they have the resources that they need, and that the families and the youth have the resources that they need. So inshallah, I'm pushing for an inclusive education system that helps our children recover from the pandemic. And like I said, living wage jobs. It's really important that we have jobs that are giving folks a living wage, that they can live and work in the communities that have supported them and sustained them. I have a lot of support. I'm very excited to share that I have endorsements. I have the sole endorsement of the 37th Democrats. I have endorsements from state. Thank you. They could have picked 4 of us. They could have given a dual endorsement, but they did not. They endorsed me because they know that when I go to Olympia, I'm going to go and I'm going to fight for the resources our communities need. And I will represent you all with the best that I have. Additionally, I have endorsements from other folks like State Senator Rebecca Saldana. I have endorsements from the Alliance for Gun Responsibility. So, there's a lot of momentum. But like everybody said, we also need resources. We need funds to keep this going. So I am so appreciative. I'm so humbled by all of your support, for all of your kind words. Inshallah, Gabdagul, we will make it out of this primary, and we will see you guys in the general. So inshallah, I look forward to seeing you all and representing you. So magaalada degan Washington gobolka degannahay, everything is mail in. So ballotkii waa la soo diray already. Way soo socdaan qaar baa Friday iyo Jimcihii helay, qaarna way soo socdaan mailka. So definitely look out. Ha tuurinina waxa weeye haddaa u baahan tihiin qof la caawiya si loo buuxiyo ama you have questions about the candidates. Ila soo xiriira. A website kayga baa ida heli kartiin elect Nimco Bulaale ama Facebook baa ka heli kartiin Nimco Bulaale for state rep. So daharka adin any of us can help you. Waan ku caawin karnaa. We can do it in Somali, we can do it in English. Waxa u baahan tihiin laakiin ha tuurinina ballotskiina meelka imanayaan. Hadday dadku ogeen waxa community ka dhacaya iyo dhibaatooyinka iyo opportunities ka jira waxa weeye cidna ma fakarayso. Anigu haddaan joogo Olympia, I will go there. I will make sure that I take community waxay idin sheegayaan inay maqlaan, inay dadka Olympia joogaan inay maqlaan what's going on in the 37th district, issues about that are happening here, gentrification, affordability, jobs, education, women's rights. There's so many things oo meesha ka socda, laakiin cidna ma oga waxa meesha ka dhacaya because qof anaka noo eg ma joogaan Olympia.
Somali Mohammed, I'm telling you, please vote for our sister. Vote for our sister Nimco Bulaale. She needs your vote, and we need you.
Vote for Nimco Bulaale.
Vote for Nimco Bulaale.
Vote for Nimco Bulaale.
waxaan idinku boorinayaa qof walba oo nawaaxigan degan oo 37 district ah macnaheedu waxa waa New Holly, Rainier Vista, MLK Apartments, Apartment 1, Part 2, wax allaala wixii xaafadan Rainier degan oo Soomaali ah inta taqaanaanba in aad codadkii oo hesheen ballotki aad codeysaan u codeysaan gabadha walaashiina Nimco Bulaale.
Please vote for Nimco Bulaale.